Hi class, let's have our weekly chat. I apologize for my scary, scratchy voice. I caught something at our family reunion. Who knew that that many people sleeping in that small of a space would lead to potential sickness? Everybody knew that. Okay, so ignore the scratchy voice. Let's talk about what happened last week and what's going to happen this week. You submitted your survey. Thank you, thank you. If you have not yet received feedback on your survey, you will in the next, I'm hoping, 24 hours. Hopefully even less time than that. You need to incorporate that feedback, make those changes, and email it back to me for approval no later than next Tuesday, June 18th. Why do you need approval on your revised survey? Because we are going to send that survey to the IRB, and the IRB will be very, very nitpicky on that survey. They want to make sure they are protecting all of your potential participants from harm. In order to do that, they are going to comb through that survey really, really closely. So all those things I marked, those are things the IRB may take potential issue with and force you to change before we're allowed to send out that survey. So if we could get those changes made in advance, the IRB will take a quick look through your survey, not see any issues, and give you the green light so you can move forward and begin your data collection. That is our goal. We want to keep the IRB from looking too closely, if at all possible. Why? It's not because we want to kind of skirt around the ethical guidelines. No, no, no. It's because a full board review is going to take between 3 and 6 weeks. That is significantly longer than we have to send out the survey, collect the data, analyze the data, and write the final paper. We want to take an expedited IRB review. That takes 3 to 5 business days. That can only happen if the IRB does not see any issues with your survey or with your methods section. So we want to get both of those things in as good a shape as possible so they don't see any issues that give us the green light, and we just move on ahead. At some point in your career, I would imagine that you are going to go through a full board review. This takes an extended period of time. It even sometimes requires that you go defend your project before the IRB. You don't have time for that. You are going for an expedited review now. The reason for that is, first, we want to expose you to the IRB process. We want you to see what the application looks like, a little bit about the communication between the IRB and the people trying to register a study. And we want to protect all of your potential participants from harm. So that's what we're doing, but we want to make this process as quick as humanly possible. The best way to do that is to make those changes that I gave you to the survey and make those changes to the method section that were included in last week's feedback. If you don't make those and the IRB catches something they find concerning, they will make you make those changes before they will approve your study, and that means you will go back to the bottom of the stack for the IRB review. It will slow you down. You will be annoyed that it will slow you down, and if you are slowed down because there is an issue with the project, there is nothing we can do to speed it up. We just have to wait our turn in line. If you have any questions, let me know. The method section needs to be revised so that it can be included. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if you were missing sections, those have to be fixed because they will be looking for that. You will essentially be copying and pasting sections of that method section into the IRB application. It'll make a lot more sense when you start to look at it, but the best way to be prepared is to have all of those sections fleshed out and ready to go so that you can copy and paste. Questions about the IRB application. It will take one person, one, I need signs, one group member, approximately 30 minutes to complete the IRB application. Pick one group member who does this. It's not hard, but the IRB will get very, very, very annoyed with us if every single group member submits an IRB application, to the point that they might kick you to the bottom of the pile. One group member submits the IRB application. When you receive the email from Brother Sidney Palmer or from the IRB in general saying, your research project has been approved, please forward that to me. I cannot give you credit for completing the IRB assignment until I have that email forwarded from you. Brother Palmer does not send me an email letting me know that one of my students' studies have been approved unless I get it from you. I don't know what happened, so please send it to me once you get it. The IRB application assignment is due on Wednesday at 11 p.m. What does that mean? It means your IRB application must be submitted by Wednesday at 11 p.m. It does not mean it has to be approved. So as soon as you get that approval, just send it to me, but the assignment requires that you submit to the IRB by Wednesday. So just make sure that you follow those guidelines. If you are asked to make changes to your survey, you need to do that. Send them back to me and have approval before you can submit the IRB application. All changes and revisions need to be approved no later than Tuesday, June 18th. Please make sure to email them to me so I can do a quick once over. If you have already made those changes and sent them to me and haven't received a response, please go ahead and email me again. I want to make sure you get that response in a timely fashion. Okay, let's talk about an important thing. It's actually a timely thing as well. I have had some questions from people who say, Sister Stuker, you are being way too picky with our research questions, not with our survey questions. This could not possibly create any issues for someone. It could not create any potential embarrassment for someone. That may be true, but it most likely isn't. If you've been listening to the news over the last week, you've heard that there is currently a fight over questions in the 2020 census. One of the questions that they would like to include in the census is about someone's citizenship status. Where you fall on that side of the political spectrum is not relevant to this. But there is a lot of concern that adding that question will create potential issues for respondents. One side says it won't, one side says it will. This case is going to the Supreme Court. Think about it. This question is very simple. It asks, are you a U.S. citizen? If I was writing a survey, I would think, what's the big deal? You just answer, are you a U.S. citizen? Yes or no. But think about some of the implications around that question. If you were someone that wasn't a U.S. citizen, would you feel the same way about that question as someone who was? This is what the issue, this gets to the heart of the issue that we are talking about when I say that question may cause potential harm. That question may cause potential discomfort. Yes, you as the writer may not see it as an issue, but the person taking it, if they feel even a slight level of discomfort, they are likely to stop your survey or skip that question. You do not want them to stop the survey. You do not want them to skip that question. You want to make sure that we write these questions in as gentle a way as possible so that we can get people to answer them and get accurate information without causing any mental anguish or discomfort to the person who is taking it. The same issue is being debated before the Supreme Court with regards to the 2020 census. If you haven't been following it, I highly recommend you just read an article, listen to a story or two, because all of a sudden that light bulb is going to go off and you're going to be like, 391, this is what we're talking about in 391. This is what we're talking about in 391. Potential discomfort that can be caused by survey questions, even though the survey question may seem totally mundane. So look into that this week. That's why I'm asking you that. If you are a group who's asking about tanning or a group that's asking about immunizations, think if you fall on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, why might that question be concerning to you? If you are a group that's asking about sunscreen, why would someone be embarrassed to say, I don't use sunscreen? Think about it. Why? You might be embarrassed because everyone's been told to use sunscreen. It's the same reason why you have a lot of people lie when you ask them if you smoke or if you drink excessively, because we know we're not supposed to do those things. So if you find yourself in a situation where you are asking questions where there are two polar opposites, and in every single case you're going to have that in this class, you need to find the gentlest way to ask that question. If I asked you to revise your question, in most cases I've provided an example or two of how to make revisions to questions, but in most cases you need to soften the question and just take a step back. Maybe you don't say, do you use sunscreen every day? Maybe you say, in your opinion, what percentage of adults use sunscreen on a regular basis when they are spending prolonged amounts of time in the sun? Something to that effect. Keep in mind that most people will, when asked in their opinion, or from your basic observation, things like that, they will answer about their own experiences, opinions, etc. But just taking that step back makes it less judgmental, and they're more likely to provide you with an accurate answer or an answer in general. So just keep that in mind as you move forward. Thank you all for completing the mid-course peer evaluations. I really appreciate that. If you don't have a score for those mid-course peer evaluations, then that means you didn't turn it in. Or there's been a glitch with Canvas, which is always a major possibility. So if you received a 0, please let me know. We'll go back and investigate that. Let me know if you have any questions this week. Again, I will be in Rexburg next week. So if you are one of the groups that is in Rexburg and you have a lot of questions, let's set up a time to meet in person. I will be there the 19th, 20th, and 21st. So we can set up a time during that to do to have a conversation. If you are a group who is outside of Rexburg, still has a lot of questions, please don't hesitate to email me. We'll set up a time and have a conversation, or there's a number of other communication methods we can use. Email, text message. If you are one of the groups that really wants a video, we can set up a Marco Polo conversation and go back and forth. I know setting up a Zoom conversation is sometimes hard with my schedule being on the East Coast and you being scattered throughout the country. Sometimes that Marco Polo works best, so each group member can ask a question and then I'll respond to it with video. Let me know what works for you. I've also received a couple of questions saying, Sister Sugar, the syllabus says we have to have a meeting before we can move forward with our IRB application. The syllabus does say that. But unless you are one of the groups that really wants to have a meeting, our meeting is considered to be the feedback that you receive on both the survey and the methods section. If you have any questions about that feedback, please let me know. If you're one of the groups that wants to set something up, we can go ahead and do that. Just want to make this as easy, user-friendly, and as least time commitment for you as we can possibly do. So let me know if you have any questions. Have a fantastic week. And if you're in Rexburg next week and want to meet for whatever reason, please let me know and we will go ahead and schedule that.